Well, some may describe Legislative Hall as a bit of a madhouse in the last week of session. That's as lawmakers try and finalize their bills and vote on them before time runs out.
Yeah, last year, in fact, lawmakers had to stay at Leg Hall until about 5:30 in the morning to finalize the budget. Our Sussex County Bureau Chief, Evan Kozloff, spoke with some legislators today, and he joins us from our Sussex County Bureau. Evan, just like in past years, many say the almighty dollar plays a big part in these discussions.
Right, and Paul, while the operating budget has been introduced already, there are still big question marks surrounding both the bond bill and the grants and aid bill. That has many on edge, wondering what exactly will be in this budget. Ask any lawmaker in this building and they'll tell you a big focus of the next week is money. The operating budget, set at $4.1 billion, has already been introduced, but two other money bills are still up in the air. That includes the bond bill, which pays for capital improvements like construction and infrastructure in the state, and also the grants and aid bill, which funds charities and nonprofits. Senator Gerald Hawker of Millville is on the bond committee and says a lot of projects, such as the family courts in Sussex and Kent counties and state schools like Del Tech, are at risk because there's simply not enough money to go around. In fact, Hawker says funding for these bills is down about $32 million from what they expected in January.
I know we have a lot more requests for expenditures than we do revenue, and there's going to be a lot of unhappy people, but we got to do the best we can with what we have to work with.
Meanwhile, Representative Ruth Briggs King of Georgetown says a big part of the discussion will be on something called the Wilmington Education Improvement Commission, or WEIC for short. The plan, which will redistrict Wilmington schools and provide extra poverty funding, has been met with debate by lawmakers opposed to the more than $6 million price tag.
Simply to say, go ahead and start the process without putting any real numbers to it, give a lot of us concern, because we have poverty issues in Sussex County as great as in Newcastle, and we have English language learners, probably a much greater challenge in Sussex than they do in Wilmington.
Regardless of their vote, the clock is ticking at Leg Hall. So the proposed budget is set at $4.1 billion. Worth mentioning, though, that's a little under $176 million more than this year's budget. That's why some Republican lawmakers say they'll be voting against the budget. Reporting here in the Bureau, this is Evan Kozloff. Back to you guys.
Right, Evan, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Of course, there are many other bills being discussed beyond the budget. Senate Bill 161, for example, would mandate all Delaware schools to start after Labor Day so as to generate more summer business. That's currently sitting in a House committee. Another one likely to stir up some debate is House Bill 287, which would no longer allow, that is, town governments to restrict where sex offenders can live. That bill is awaiting a vote in the Delaware House. Meanwhile, House Bill 424, or the WEIC bill, did pass the House last Wednesday and has now been assigned to a Senate committee in Delaware.